Okay, everybody, welcome to Nice or Necess or however you say the word because I'm an idiot. I I'm gonna be doing a review on this later. Right now I just have this kind of going in the background while I'm playing it, and because I don't record or edit or yeah, I don't edit nor do I really script or anything like that, so I don't feel like playing Dragon Age Inquisition right now. Um, so here we are. No, I'm gonna give my review on Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Inquisition, and as well as Dragon Age Veilguard. Not Dragon Age 2, because while I do have it, I can actually record that one. I don't currently have space on my computer for it, so I'm gonna do a review on that. Anyways, so Dragon Age Origins, loved the game, really good game. I think that its biggest problem was its graphics. Like, I'd love to see an updated version of it because it's just really good. Um, I'm gonna be totally honest, it was just really good. Um, like just make a remake of that and just straight faithful remake. Don't add anything or anything like that. Seriously though, great game. Highly recommend you get if you can, although it doesn't work the best on new systems and stuff, which sucks, but it is what it is. Why can't I? Oh, because that's too far underwater. Okay. Anyways, yeah, no, amazing game. Love it. Really just outdated graphics. I will say that is kind of disappointing that the main villain was we don't get to really see the main demon, the archdemon, sorry, the main villain, the archdemon do much. Like, we know about him and we hear about him a lot, but like we don't really get to see it be tactical and stuff, because that's what the Darkspawn need. They need a leader. That's why what happens. They have somebody that can actually lead them, provide them strategies, all that stuff, and we don't really see that in the story. So that's really just a minor gripe. Honestly, that's really all I can gripe to it about. It's overall just really good and really well made and legitimately amazing. Like, I cannot I can't glaze it enough. Um no, seriously though, amazing game. Like, I cannot put my faith in it enough. Like, one of my favorites. I'm sad that I can't record it and show it to you because I can't get it to work on my laptop, nor can I get it to work on my PC. So I just kind of gotta. This is where we're at. We gotta. You guys gotta deal with not seeing it, and I'm very sorry about that. I really wish I could get it working. Because if I could get it working, I feel like I could do a few things. But no, I just could not get it working, and it sucks. But oh well. It just sucks. Can't do much about it. Um. Anyways, Dragon Age Inquisition. Sorry again about skipping Dragon Age 2, but I can actually record that one, and I'm gonna give my opinion on it while I'm recording it. So, Dragon Age 2. Not Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition. That's the one I want to talk about. Jesus Christ. My brain doesn't work sometimes, if y'all couldn't tell. Um, Honestly, okay. I I like Dragon Age Inquisition, but I do not think it's that good of a game. Like, I'd say it's a 5, especially in the Dragon Age series. It's a mid game. they made it play more like an MMO, and I don't really like MMOs. Not that much, at least. Like, I like the multiplayer aspect, but they just made Inquisition a solo game. Like, it's like you're trying to play an MMO by yourself, because while there is online features and such, I'm not gonna really be using those. I'm just talking about base, because some people don't have internet, some people don't always have access to internet, a whole bunch of other stuff. You get the idea. Um, but no, what it's all just kind of fucking weird. It's wild stuff. Wild stuff. Like legitimately. Um, but no, it's really weird to think about because it's it's a good game for the most part, right? Like I think it'd be better if they didn't try to make it multiplayer. That was the problem, that they made it multiplayer, I think. They made it play like it's supposed to be a multiplayer game, even though it's single player. And I feel like if they didn't do that, it'd be a much better game. Like honestly. Um, but no, they didn't do that, which I think is a really weird choice of a game. But no, I do like Dragon Age Inquisition for the most part. I don't think it's a terrible game or anything like that. Do think it's weird, but oh well, you know, it'd be what it be. Um, but no, I will say also the specializations are fucking weird. Okay, like legitimately, the specializations are weird. So for the mage, I feel like the specializations were all disappointing to me. Um, you have a close range option, which I found fucking wild. Like, don't get me wrong, I can understand having something that's like, oh, built for up close. You're a mage, all this stuff. But it's literally just sword magic, and you just get ability. If you're gonna go for that specialization, just play a warrior, dude. Like legitimately, I it feels like a waste to use all of that for. It just feels like a waste. Like if you're gonna be a mage, be a mage. Don't like try and go close range with that shit. Like don't get me wrong. I believe you can be a close range mage, but like you literally just get a specialization that gives you a big sword and allows you to parry and stuff like that, which is wild. Like actually wild. And it doesn't make sense. All right, that's only one of them. Then there's the necromancy specialization, which they made it spirit themed, but there's already a spirits themed magic that's shown and stuff, so it didn't really make sense to me for them to do that. Like, kinda weird. Kinda weird. It's really kind of weird. That's it. It was just kind of weird. I, they name it all like oh, you raise the spirits of the dead and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, but why we already have spirits though? Why do we need this spirit? You know, like what's going on there? Um, but that's something that exists. It's interesting, I guess. It's not terrible. Um, I will say the necromancy is strong. I do like the abilities. One's called Death Siphon. Whenever you kill an enemy, you regain mana and health. And then the other one, which is in that same line, whenever you kill an enemy, your spells do 20% more damage for like 7 seconds. I want to say something like that. Um, but yeah, no. Ah, okay, great. And then see with the specializations, you actually get a thing that requires focus, which is like an ultimate move. With the sword fighting one, I have no idea what it is for the sword mage. Then you have the Fade Walker, which is iffy. I mean, it sounds cool, but then just doesn't look that cool. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like, it sounds cool. Like, oh, you control the Fade to make a fist and smash it into the ground, crushing enemies there. Sounds cool. You'd think they do like an actual fist animation and all that good stuff. They don't. It just looks like a bunch of wind blew into the floor. Which is sad. Like, actually sad. Like, I'm disappointed by it. Like, there's so much potential there, and then they did that, and I was like, bro, really right now? Anyways, and then there's the haste ability, which isn't even haste. So as a necromancer, the focus ability you get is haste. That's what it's called. Your teammates move so fast that the enemies seem slow by comparison. That is the description, or it's something along those lines. Do you want to guess what it does? Doesn't increase your attack speed. Doesn't increase your just overall speed. It slows down the enemies for 6 seconds. That's what it does. And it's called haste. Which is already, like, fucking wild. Like, what was the design choice there? Like, I'm just confused, okay? Why? Why? That is my problem. It is why. And then, it gets weirder. Because, like, it doesn't make sense at all for your ability to be haste. And even then, it's just slow. It is literally just slowing people down. So I'm just going to call it slow from here on out. So if you hear me say slow, no, it refers to the Necromancer focus ability. What the fuck? The Fade Walker gets a fucking meteor swarm. Okay, a swarm of fireballs raining down from the sky. I'm sure the Enchanter gets something that makes more sense than a Necromancer getting slow. Like, you would think they do it to where, like, you could summon one of the powerful enemies that you've killed or something like that based off of, like, either achievements or something. Like, the highest level enemy you've killed so far, you can summon for a certain amount of time. I could see that. That would make sense. Or something like that. Or, oh, you revive all of your friends. Bring them back to full HP or something, but only for a certain amount of time. Which would just be a copy of a different ability, but, like, that would still make more sense. Or, like, just make the Simulacrum ability or Corpse Bomb ability affect more people and have, or, like, I don't... Like, Simulacrum, for instance. Great ability. Great ability. Love it. It basically, whenever you go down, you can't be revived, but you're still fighting with infinite mana and stuff like that, and AI fights for you with infinite mana and stuff like that for a few seconds, which really cool sounded. I could see an ability where, like, you make a copy of yourself and they have, like, the effects of Simulacrum. You know, like, I could see that. That would at least make some more sense than slow. Really slow? And it's just disappointing. It's just really disappointing. Like, the specializations in the game are just, they sound cool, but they're disappointing for the most part. Okay? Like, that's my entire problem with the things. Like, I could understand if it was like within a certain radius, all enemies become walking bombs and explode in this certain amount of time. Like, I could see that. Okay? I could see that would make more sense than anything else to me that I can think of on the spot. Alright. What the fuck? You went with slow? Who thought that was a good idea? And then, like, you might be able to, like, be like, oh, it's a class that has debuffs and stuff. So maybe that? Its debuff is panic and horror, which makes sense. And all it does is slow. So I could understand if it was, like, themed around, like, oh, you paralyze the enemies with fear from being a necromancer or something like that. No. No, it's just, you slow them down. Which, in lore, you just make your characters faster, but in the game, they didn't do that. They just made it to where you slow enemies down. Which, like, why not just call it slow and change the thing for it? Like, the entire thing's fucking weird. Okay? Like, that's my problem with it. It's fucking weird. Then, that's pretty much it. Like, it's an MMO that you play single player, and doesn't make much sense. Like, yeah, it doesn't make much sense. I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. It just doesn't make much sense. Like, at all. So it's weird to see that as the ability, and I mean, I'm not gonna get it because it's, like, worthless. I'm not gonna use it either. It exists. It just kind of sucks. And yeah, it's something. It's fucking weird. No, that's my main problem. Some of the abilities feel good to use, and then most of the time the others just don't. Like, that's my review of Inquisition. It was an okay game. I do think the story of it, though, was really good. But the reason I'm giving it an okay instead of a, oh, it was a good game is because it just kind of, like, the combat and such were just not there. Like, I wish they were. I really do. But they just weren't there yet, you know? Like, I don't know why they went with the, like, MMO style combat. So, they just, like, they just made it MMO-like. That's what they did. I don't like it much. I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't think it works much. Like, overall, I don't think it was best. Small settlement. How to find meal. How many decent sized room? Okay. Why are you unhappy? You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. No, anyways. Seriously though, like, they just made some choices that to me didn't make sense. And okay. Now this is going to be my supposed review around Veilguard, which I refuse to play, I refuse to buy, I refuse to touch. Okay. What the fuck, dudes? Like, I've seen the gameplay, and the gameplay is gonna get ridiculously repetitive decently fast. Like, the most they do is change it up so that every once in a while you have dudes with shields, which don't even, do much because you can just out damage the shields. so it doesn't matter that they have shields. You know? They're just kind of like, oh, great, this person has a shield. Good for them, I guess. And then they're dead and gone. And bada bing, bada boom. This is really fucking weird. Like, it does not work. At all. Like, the style of combat just did not work for the game it is. Especially for a Dragon Age game. Especially because the creators just couldn't make the combat style good. Which should be really easy with a God of War style combat system. Like, you would think. But, like, nah. They just didn't do that. And, yeah. It's fucking weird. That's it. It's just fucking weird. Now if we want to if we really want to dive into it, which I'm going to be doing, this is a review video. I'm going to talk about what I know about it and all of this other stuff. Overall, the game's just not good. Okay. Ignoring all of the stuff going on with it, it's not good. It's not well written. It's a sham of a Dragon Age game and just shouldn't exist. And all of that's just ignoring how many changes they made, how much lore they are actively ignoring when they made it, and a whole bunch of other shit. Okay? All of that's ignoring that stuff. Okay? That's ignoring everything like that, which I'm gonna get into here in a second, but the gameplay is boring, the writing isn't good, and the gameplay is gonna get repetitive. Two things you don't fucking want in a game mainly about its gameplay is gonna be the hard carrying feature. Okay? The gameplay is going to be what gets somebody to play for this game. You're not going to be playing this game for the story. All right? Don't go into it thinking that. Like, actually, don't go into this game just expecting everything to be good and all that shit, because I can tell you for a fact it's not going to be good. It's just not going to be worthwhile at all. Like, okay. I need to stay on point. Okay. The gameplay is going to be boring. It's going to be repetitive. It is up there. Okay? You're not going to appreciate this game much, especially when it gets that fucking boring. It just does not work out. Okay? Now, let's get on to the story. What the fuck? Okay, no. What the fuck did they do? Like, actually, what the fuck did you do? To put this into perspective, I'm gonna have to talk about all three games that are actually Dragon Age games and that I believe to be able to be counted as Dragon Age games because they were made by the people who made like Dragon Age Origins. They're the ones that deserve the IP, even though technically BioWare has it. Which BioWare should not have it at this point in time, because none of the original owners of the original creators, of the game have any stake in it now. Anyways, ignoring just gameplay. The story's fucking stupid. All right. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. The story is stupid and does not make sense. Okay? Now, from what I've heard and what I know, the last 5 hours at best, if you're doing like a lot of the stuff, uh, is the best part of the game. What the fuck? Great, great. That's 5 hours out of what? A 60-hour game? 70? And that's watching the cutscenes, all that stuff. And this is a story-driven choice game. Is what this is supposed to be. All right. That is what this is supposed to be. I don't like it. I do not like it. I hate it. I hate it. I really hate it. I do because it is okay. To Okay, I'm gonna have to talk about the original games real quick. Sorry I got driven off topic a bit. So, in the first game, you play as the Warden, somebody who ends the latest blight by killing the Archdemon. Now, there's a few endings, okay? This is gonna get spoilery, so if you don't know anything about Dragon Age or anything like that, you don't care about spoilers or whatever, skip this, okay? Or just flick off the video. This is a game review. I'm going to go in depth for this. This needs to be said to point out how bad Veilguard is. All right. So, in Dragon Age Origins, there's one specific ending. Well, two specific endings where your character lives. In one of them, you end up having a child with Morgan. Now, that is if you've romanced Morgan the entire time, and all of that good stuff. Now, here's where it gets stupid. Morgan and you have a child, all right? You have good reason to stay with Morgan. Morgan goes missing with said child. And see, the reason why you survived killing the Archdemon is because Morgan took the soul of the Archdemon and put it in your child that you two sired together. Okay? Now, she does go on the run. There's a DLC that, you meet up with her, you have this conversation with her, and all of that good stuff. When you go to the next game, you don't really get much involved with that or anything like that, okay? Which makes sense. Makes sense that you're not too involved with the first game, okay? You just get your way out, all that stuff. The second game did not have a lot of work put into it because it had to get out in a very short time. It had the least development out of all of the games. Now, I need to make sure you understand this. In the second game, you save the city of Kirkwall. Okay, I'm not going to give any major spoilers or anything like that. You save the city of Kirkwall from imminent destruction. Okay? It takes place over 7 years, almost a decade. And while I will say it's not a bad game or anything like that, I feel that it is needed to say and point out that while the game is good, it does have its weaknesses, and it does what the Dragon Age series did need. And it gave the Dragon series more of a unique thing behind it. It made Dragon Age more unique. which is really the only weakness in the Dragon Age series that, well, it needed help with, and it got its help with. Thanks to that, Dragon Age has a much more unique name now instead of being something with, like, Lord of the Rings and such. Which, don't get me wrong, Lord of the Rings is good, but it's much more unique now. All right? It's got more of its own story in it. Uh, anyways, with Dragon Age 2, you kill someone called Corypheus, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He is the big, well, I don't necessarily call him the big bad. A bunch of stuff happens in Dragon Age 2. It's been a while since I played it. Anyways, he needs your blood because you are the son of the Grey Warden, I believe. I believe he was a Grey Warden. That killed him. Didn't kill him, sealed Corypheus away. All right. See, the reason Corypheus was sealed is because he is a human being-ish that is infected with the Blight and is basically, for all intents and purposes, kind of like an archdemon, yet isn't. He is not a demon, he is still human-like, okay? In most ways, this man has stayed human and is still human somehow, okay? He had to be sealed away because he could control the Grey Wardens and how they felt the Blight, the calling. And the calling is what tells you when a Blight is coming. He would use that to manipulate the Grey Wardens. And that's not good. That's not good at all. So what ends up happening is that he gets some of your blood and is freed, and you have to hunt him down and kill him. So when you hunt him down, you kill him. He is dead. In Dragon Age Inquisition, he comes back and is alive. Of course, the Dragon Age Inquisition kills him. The Inquisitor kills him. But you do talk to the hero of Kirkwall, which is the protagonist of Dragon Age 2. Now, what you might have noticed is this weird thing where it seems like all of the protagonists are almost connected to Inquisition and the like. They are. That's the thing. They are. All of them have reason to be in Inquisition. Okay? Now, the only reason the main character of Origins isn't in Inquisition is for the very simple little fact of he is out making sure, or I believe you have to be male to romance Morgan. I'm not entirely sure. The Origins main character is out trying to find a way around the inevitable early grave that being a Grey Warden leads to. See, when you become a Grey Warden, your lifespan is shortened. What you're out doing is finding a way around that. That is what the Warden is doing in Inquisition. Now, here's where it gets kind of weird. Guess what originally started the Blight? People, Corypheus in this case, going to the Fade and intruding on the City of Gods. Alright, that is what started the first Blight. Now, this is very important to understand. That started the first Blight. Someone like Corypheus, actually, it was Corypheus, that helped start the first Blight. See, there was many like Corypheus, but for all we know, Corypheus is the last one. Now, The Fade gets broken. The veil comes down. So the Fade is interfering with our world in Inquisition. Or not Inquisition, sorry. In Inquisition, it gets broken, but your job's to repair it. So you work on repairing it. Spoiler alert, you get betrayed. Guess what ends up happening? Yada, yada, yada. Veilguard happens, where you're supposed to be trying to fix the veil. Stop it from being cracked in half, all that good stuff, okay? That is why Veilguard is supposed to exist. Originally, it was going to be called Dread Wolf, which it also had an entirely different story there, which I think should have been what they told, but here we are. What ends up happening is this gets a little weird. All protagonists of the previous game series have reason to be involved with the fourth game. And there are a lot of ways you could have taken the fourth game. Like, this is a thought that I had earlier today when I was really looking into Veilguard and such to make my opinion on it and my review of it. See, I can come up with a better storyline in 1 minute than they can with the 10 years, was it, that they had for Dreadwolf? This is a little funny bit of information for you. Guess what? The Grey Warden, or at least, sorry, the Warden, because that is their title. Last I checked, at least. The father of an archduke, or not an archduke, an archdemon, who is no longer an archdemon now and has none of those powers or abilities and such, thanks to your mother-in-law, I guess? That's complicated. Anyways, it's an Orlais trying to find a way around their impending doom. Because their lifespan was shortened and they want to see their child grow up. All the way to adulthood and such. And they want to live a long life with, Morgan and their child and all that stuff. So they're off seeking a way to do that. In Orlais, which makes sense, it's the home of magic. It is very powerful. It is a very, very powerful empire. Magic is huge there. Magic is common, and that's the Orlesian Empire is what originally did the thing into the Veil and the Fade that caused the first Blight to happen. So it makes sense that there would be clues there around what might extend your lifespan. Now, if we really want to talk about what would be a good choice for a story, then what would have made sense is if, you went through, you started off in Orlais as the main character of 4, and you met the Warden. You went and, met all these people and such. You met the Grey Wardens, you meet the Warden. That would make sense, especially with the veil coming down and all that stuff. The Warden is probably still in Orlais and all that. But then you go to Dragon Age 2, you go to Kirkwall, help them out, then you go and help the Inquisition and all that stuff. And it would make more sense and a better storyline. Anyways, story of Dragon Age Veilguard sucks. Now, here soon, I'll be doing a review on Dragon Age 2. Once I can get it downloaded and all that good stuff. So, goodbye. I am signing off. Have a nice time, whatever day, night it is for you.